So we're getting a better picture now of exactly what went on when Ice Cube met with President Trump's team to discuss his contract with Black America. Jared Kushner was discussing it today. He was on Fox and Friends, laid out, some of their initial meetings. He says that there are things they disagreed on, but it's more about his choice of words here. And you can debate however you feel about whether or not Ice Cube should be working with a campaign, but the fact is, he has worked with them, and he's told us, he's been on this show and told us that he's trying to get things done for the Black community. That's great. But when you hear, just listen to how Jared Kushner describes the president's policies and what they can do for Black America.
There's been a lot of discussion about the issues that were needed in the Black community for the last years, but particularly it intensified after the George Floyd situation. And you saw a lot of people who were just virtue signaling. They'd go on Instagram and cry, or they would, put a slogan on their jersey or write something on a basketball court. And quite frankly, that was doing more to polarize the country than it was to bring people forward. You solve problems with solutions. And one of the things I respected about Ice Cube is he actually went and said, okay, what are the policies that are needed in order to solve the problems that everyone's complaining about? President Trump's policies are the policies that can help people break out of the problems that they're complaining about, but he can't want them to be successful more than they want to be successful. And what you're seeing throughout the country now is a groundswell of support in the Black community, because they're realizing that all the different bad things that the media and the Democrats have said about President Trump are not true.
Sounded like another way of saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And also, the word when he said all the things that they've been complaining about kind of has a tone of like it's not really an issue, that these aren't really issues, but you're complaining about them. I don't know. His choice of words really rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, I don't know what he was talking about with basketball courts, but it sounds to me like this might be a shot at LeBron and others who have taken a position, because he was saying that things that are said in the basketball court or written or whatever polarize. That feels like it's a shot at LeBron.
Definitely a shot at the NBA. I mean, he's talking about things on your jerseys. The NBA, remember, the players, rather than their names on the back during the season, had those slogans. And so he's definitely taking a shot at that. And he's sort of perpetuating the usual Republican talking points of Democrats perpetuate victimhood to get Black votes, and we do things differently with real solutions. But we've heard it all before. It's just tone deaf.
It sounds like he thinks the Black Lives Matter movement is bad for America and polarizing. I mean, I don't know how else to interpret that.
But I think President Trump has said that, right?
No. He said, because they actually asked him about that in one of the debates, and he said the first exposure I had to Black Lives Matter was somebody talking about pigs in a blanket and everything else, which I don't know how to interpret that, but he was trying to back away from that. And it sounds like Jared Kushner, in a way, is doubling down on that.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Ashley from Tampa, Florida. And I first want to start with my issue with people like Kushner when they use the terms them and they to refer to us as African Americans and referencing problems that they feel that we created. We're not talking about issues of things that we cannot control. We're talking about decades of systematic oppression. I disagree with everything that he said. And I do think that it was great for him to meet with Ice Cube, but are we going to see action in the next 4 years just because you had a meeting when in public you won't even denounce white supremacists?
Well, and Ice Cube himself was on with us and said, let's see what happens. He's glad that he took the meeting, but even Ice Cube was a little, wary of whether or not any politician is going to come through.
Right, but Ice Cube was saying, I want to change things for the better. And if that means going to the White House and lobbying, I'm going to do it.
Right, that they're going to come through.